What we want to do is concentrate for names, again, that haven't exploded 7, 10, 12 days in a row. We want to look for names that are, again, coming off the bottom. And there's a lot of really good names here. Look at Peloton, right? Peloton had this really, really big move.
Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Just a quick, shorter update today. My daughter has another soccer game. I can't even remember which one it is, some sort of playoff game. Anyway, guys, so let's kind of get into it. So from the macro point of view, we just want to understand where everybody is. Again, we reclaimed the 50-day moving average at 4 days in a row. And again, not necessarily 4 days in a row of buying, but more important, 4 days in a row of building. That's the most important part when you are building off of a level. The more price action that happens above the level, you're going to get more and more stocks that are going to get pulled up over that level, and that's exactly what we are seeing here. And even though it's not maybe a full-blown, linear move right now with $7, $8 in a row, you are still seeing the big linear players that had big moves at confirmed levels doing their thing. We'll get to this guy in a second, right? We'll definitely get to this guy in a second. Tomorrow, well, actually, let's start out today. So you have Facebook came out with earnings tonight, and if you look at earnings from Facebook, they weren't great, okay? They weren't. They were less than great. But as the headline read, they weren't as shitty as people thought. Okay, right? And the fact that, Facebook already has gone from a pretty big move, and again, there's a lot of baggage going on right now with Facebook, but the point is Facebook has gone from 384 all the way down to 318. At some point, there is intrinsic value there, and so far, after the initial push lower, the bulls are starting to build over the level here. Now, the key for Facebook tomorrow, if they can't sell off the stock and reclaim this top of supply here, hey, maybe even them is especially with the kind of the euphoria that's kind of starting in the market. Again, we'll get to this guy in a second. But with all the euphoria that's happening tomorrow, we can actually see, even though Facebook hasn't had the greatest quarter in the world, we can still see it start pushing higher if it starts reclaiming this area here. And if you look at the after hours high, it all correlates pretty aggressively in the same area. So we're gonna have to watch for that. And if you look at the cues, and this is kind of gonna be a segue for tomorrow's session, if you look at the cues for tomorrow, and this is the area we kept on talking about, we finally reclaimed not only the 5-day moving average, not only the 50-day moving average, we finally reclaimed that 777 level. So we only have one more area to get above to kind of have a little bit more daylight, and that's that 379, 380 level on the Qs. Now, what's going to propel us to that level? Well, we got a slew of earnings coming out for tomorrow, okay? When I mean a slew of earnings, we have a slew of earnings. We have Microsoft, right? We have Microsoft. We have Google. We have AMD tomorrow. That we've seen a lot of 125 and 130 short-term expiration in there. Took out 52-week highs, all-time highs today. Twitter is for tomorrow as well. Companies like General Electric and Visa and everything else in between. But the point is technology. If technology starts confirming, especially the macro levels on the Qs, everything is going to get pulled up as well. So it's very, very important. Now let's get to this guy right here. Okay. So for all you guys who've been watching the broadcast for, let's just say even 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks worth. Tesla, again, did not break out. Tesla did not break out at 900, okay? 900 was the absolute highest close in the whole formation. I think that's very, very important to understand. Okay, so that's the difference. Tesla closed at the highest level since, let's go back to the weekly chart. So it closed at the highest level since January the 25th of the start of the year. Why is that significant against the highest close in the whole formation? Now, if you guys watched the video, I talked about, I thought this week we had a measured potential 930, 950, right? Ultimately, I think, maybe you're going to test 1,000 next week at some point. After all, we've seen some really aggressive order flow come in for this week. We saw the 900s, the 920s, the 950s. So I thought the 920, 950 area was a realistic thing. When I woke up this morning, and again, sometimes it's hard to sleep, but when I woke up this morning and I saw Tesla at 930, I go, holy crap, it's at 930, right? It's literally at one of the first areas of supply. Because if you look at the first supply zone, I don't even know if it's going to even correlate here. Yeah, if you look at the first supply zone, you see this right here, this 927 and this 950s area, that's what I meant about 930 and 950. So I said, oh, wow, 930, this is great. And then 30 seconds later, you just started seeing headline after headline after headline. Number one, Hertz ordering 100,000 Tesla cars. You saw Morgan Stanley come out with an upgrade in price target from 900 to 1,200. You saw, what else was there? You saw price increase in certain models. I forgot which one they were. And they exploded the stock again. It went to the 950s. And I said, and I turned around and I started talking about a lot of people in the webinar. I said, holy crap. Tesla literally has put, forget about what it's done today, but literally Tesla has put in, literally, let's see here, an $85 move from the 870 pivot when it reclaimed its earnings highs, confirmed 878, closed above 900, and now it's literally put in a whole week's worth of average true range pre-market, right? Pre-market. Yada, yada, yada. Apparently that wasn't the high of the day. Tesla absolutely went nuts. We saw, I mean, what do we see here? We saw 1,020 weeklies, 1,050 weeklies. This is when the stock was still like 970s, okay? So Tesla literally put in basically about a week and a half, 2 weeks measured potential in one trading session. If you're still holding a runner, God bless. That is absolutely phenomenal. I can't think anything better than speculation money really helping out a lot of traders, right? People were in Bitcoin going absolutely nuts, Ethereum going absolutely nuts. Tesla going absolutely nuts. Forget about all the other names, like NVIDIA still holding up very well, and AMD holding up very well, and there's still distribution in a lot of tech names, but it's so damn cool. And again, I know a lot of you guys work so hard to kind of stay in the game, buy your time, extend your shelf life until you really understand the nuances of all the moving parts in this business. So it's kind of cool to get one of these things from time to time. So that's awesome. I really think that's incredibly well. But at some point, when you start talking about, when you start talking about objectives, right, and price targets, look, again, I thought it was going to go to 950 this week. Okay, I did not think the damn thing was going to go to 1,050 today. So which makes it a little bit tricky today. Which kind of makes it a little bit tricky for tomorrow. If you have a runner for tomorrow, God bless. This has nothing to do with you. The stock could come in $40 and still be good. For all you guys who are flat this thing, obviously, if there's any dip, God knows that there will be, but if there's any dip on this thing, there definitely has to be bought on those dips. What's going to be very interesting about this name is, well, how much can it stretch, right? Obviously, all the areas, all the price targets that anybody in their wildest dreams could possibly fathom, that's off the table. Is it possible it gets to 1,200, 1,300? Absolutely. When you look at the options market, guys, what I'm telling you, for all you guys who don't have option flow, for all you guys who don't have flow, we saw tens of millions of dollars in premium being bet. Okay, this isn't Wall Street Bets or some sort of like blah alert service. These guys were coming in, and not for short-term expiration, a little bit longer, even some leaps 2 and 3 years out. But I saw $1,500 calls. I seen $1,800 calls. I seen $10 million bets on this damn thing. So again, Elon Musk, what are you going to say? Again, you could hate him, you could love him. It is what it is. The scoreboard is the scoreboard. And again, for all you guys who are lucky enough to stay in this thing, congratulations. You won. Okay, you won. Don't think for a second you didn't. You won. Congratulations. Go have a smile. Go have some ice cream, whatever your drug of choice of alcohol is. But important, just enjoy yourself. Now the key is keep your money, right? Use the previous day's low as your stop if you want to give it a bigger leash. And tomorrow, if you want to have a shorter reach, use the previous 60-minute low as your max pain. But again, the point is keep as much as possible and move on to the next one. Going into tomorrow's session, obviously all eyes again are going to be on technology earnings, but what we want to do is concentrate for names again that haven't exploded 7, 10, 12 days in a row. We want to look for names that are again coming off the bottom. And there's a lot of really good names here. Look at Peloton, right? Peloton had this really, really big move a couple of days ago, which I missed. But here's kind of where the kicker is. It stopped right at the 50-day supply. If Peloton can confirm the 50-day supply, and especially in this environment, look at the next supply zone. There's a lot of potential in this thing. Look at a name, for example, like First Solar. Not something that looks like a tight consolidation, but the solar names have been kind of odd birds for years. They've had so much juice to kind of really get them going. This was the one that really stands out and has stood out over years. Keep an eye on this thing over the next couple of days. If this thing starts attacking this top of this channel, this thing can wake up as well. Even a smaller name, right? A smaller name like DNA, which I don't know anything about. The reason why this thing caught my eye, we started seeing near-term expiration for the end of the month and November. I believe it was $20 calls. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw $20 calls on this thing. Anyway, keep an eye on this thing. Really, really good channel as well. And a name that has nothing to do with technology, but looks really good. You guys see the common denominator, right? This is NUE. This is a steel stock. First close over the 50-day moving average. If this thing can confirm the 50-day moving average, maybe it starts its next leg up. But before, obviously, you entertain the idea, make sure you know when they're reporting earnings, that you don't get caught in a surprise earnings announcement. But definitely going into tomorrow, we're definitely bullish. Again, the longer we build above the 50-day moving average, the better. This 279, 280 level used for a reference guide as a possible closing basis to see if we can finally get above the daily supply. Tesla, obviously, on all dips on that name as well. Square, I like. NVIDIA, still seeing size. Talk about NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been on a monster run. Oops. NVIDIA has been in an absolute monster run ever since it broke above the 214 50-day moving average, and it's broken out to all-time highs. We saw ridiculous amounts of 235 and 240 weekly call buyers, and for next week as well. And again, if this thing starts to really still grind higher, you could see 241, 245 ahead of earnings. So guys, sorry to cut this kind of a little bit short. I got another soccer game to go to. Dad's life is never done. Guys, have a great night, everybody. God bless. Again, congratulations. I think that's awesome. And with God's help, we'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.